What's up? I'm Dre Hill, artist, storyteller, writer, author of your favorite poetry collection that you haven't read yet. Now, maybe about a week or so ago, I was sent a copy of a book by a fellow author and fellow poet. This is actually the first time that I've been randomly sought out for a book to be sent to me. I've had books sent to me as far as like a giveaway or something like that before. But to have an author reach out to me, hoping that they can send me their work, regardless of whether they thought I would platform it or not, it was really cool. It's really special. And so today's video, I just want to kind of talk about the book that I received. So I received Loving You Through the Pain by Tamia Williams. Let's talk about it. I guess you can say that this video will be a review. I'll start by saying that I gave this book 4 stars. And ultimately what I gave it 4 stars for is the fact that there were a couple of poems that struck an emotional resonance for me. I didn't quite feel that throughout the course of the journey of the book, but there were a couple of key points where it really hit, and it hit hard enough for me that alone made it enough of a powerful book in my eyes to give it a 4. That was enough for me to justify the 4 rating. Bump anything and everything else, the emotional resonance and the turbulence within that was enough for me to give it a 4. Now, it's a beautiful book, beautiful cover. Get into the artwork. It's beautiful. There are no page numbers on the interior, and I forgot how many pages there actually are in this. I would consider this a chapbook. I think it is maybe pushing 40 pages total, but doesn't quite reach 40. And I think that on average most full-length collections are somewhere between the 40 to 80 page range, although they sometimes typically extend into the 100 pages, but that depends on the front matter, the back matter, acknowledgments, things like that. As a book, I believe this is Miss Williams' debut. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to double check that. But as a book, I think it's pretty solid. Like I said, there were a couple of poems that really, for me, struck chords and took it over the top. But it's pretty solid. I felt like there were places in poems where she could push the boundary a little bit more and give us a little bit more of the emotional edge and grit that I think that she was building towards and alluding to in certain poems. I just don't think that we necessarily fully dove into some of those places. And so I feel like in some of those poems we're watching the story unfold as opposed to being in the middle of it and experiencing it. And I think that for some people it leaves a desire for more. But I think that for someone who is maybe unfamiliar with poetry and or trying to get into poetry, a book like this is great because it's relatable, it's very universal language, and there's still very concrete storylines to follow in each poem and across this book that don't diverge too far into abstraction that we get into this super highbrow, high concept, I have to really sit and ponder what is happening in this poem kind of experience. On top of that, it's a spicy book, okay? Because who said that poems and poetry cannot be spicy, cannot be sensual, cannot be sexy? This is a very spicy book. So, if nothing else, if you love tales of relationship and intrigue and sensuality and sexuality, this is a book that is worth picking up. Let me read you a stanza from one of the poems that, for me, just kind of paints a great picture. Let me find it. This one is called About You. Deep kisses while taking each breast in my hands, feeling your nipples pebble, hard like diamonds, breathing deeply while taking commands, each of your senses heightens. And that's just a stanza, and that's from the middle of the poem. So imagine what else is there to be unearthed, to be explored. Now, you can find Miss Williams' book on Amazon. It will be linked in the description. It may be available at other book retailers. I'm not entirely sure, but you can get a copy of your book there. I will also link my full reviews from Goodreads and Storygraph, so you can check those out. Really read through, see which poems I'm referring to that I feel really make names for themselves in this collection, and hopefully that will persuade you to go pick it up for yourself if this video hasn't already done all of the legwork. Again, thank you to Tamia Williams for sending me a copy of this book. If you are an author, especially a poet, but any kind of independent and marginalized author, and you want to send me a copy of your book for me to read, potentially review, and maybe even platform here on YouTube or on my other social platforms, shoot me a DM, email me, whatever the case is, we can talk about that. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up for me. In the comments, you can let me know what you're doing this weekend, if you want to see more reviews on this channel, and or what you thought of Miss Williams' book if you've already read it. If you enjoy what happens on this screen and on this page, go ahead and subscribe for me and turn on that bell icon so you do not miss a future upload. Again, I'm Dre Hill. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next Saturday.